Hi everyone, welcome back to the AORUS channel. The latest Intel 12th Gen processors just came out, and many of you must be eager to know how they actually perform. In this video, we'll be looking at the actual performance of the 12th Gen processor when pairing with the AORUS Z690 motherboard. We've tested 3 enthusiast-focused models, which are i9-12900KF, i7-12700KF, and i5-12600KF. The board we were using for the test was Z690 AORUS Pro. First, let's see how the 12th Gen processors perform under the Cinebench R23. For single-core performance, the score of the i9 processor reached 2,000 points, which is about 20% higher than the last generation. The multi-core performance demonstrates the 12th Gen strength. We can see on average a 50% jump in performance. The performance boost of i9 is even more impressive, 77% higher compared to the 11th Gen i9. Now let's see how it's going to be translated into real-world scenarios. The first test is the file compression and decompression. Compared with the last gen, the 12th Gen processors are about 5 to 13% better in file compression and even better with file decompression. Next is the video encode decode test. We used X264 FHD benchmark for the test, and you could see the huge leap of the 12th Gen processors. We also tested the X265 to check how the 12th Gen performs under newer video encode decode methods. We see a similar performance improvement compared to the 11th Gen. At last, let's look at the performance of the 12th Gen processor under Blender. You can see that it could shorten 30% of the time needed for rendering under each scene, which guarantees much more efficient content creation. Moving on to the part many of you have been waiting for, the gaming performance. We began with 3D Mark Time Spy. The overall score of the 12th Gen is about 5 to 9% better compared to the last gen. And there's no doubt the CPU score has boosted over 20% on the 12th Gen processors. Next up, Firestrike. This is the test you should watch closely because it somehow represents the 1080p gaming performance, which is quite sensitive to the CPU. The result is pretty amazing, with a 30% performance leap on average and even up to 50% with the i9 processor. Now the moment you have been waiting for, the game tests. Compared with i9 11900K, you can expect at least 5% of FPS boost under each title, and for the classic first-person shooting game CSGO, we saw something even more amazing, a 40% FPS increase. Now let's move on to something more extreme. The robust power and thermal design of AORUS Z690 motherboards can further push your 12th Gen processor to the limit. We're going to show you how much performance you will gain under CPU and memory overclocking. We overclocked the i9-12900K to 2 cores, 5.4G, and another 2 cores, 5.2G with Z690 AORUS Extreme. Using Cinebench, we can see an additional 4% of single performance gained when overclocked. These kinds of performance boost in Cinebench could turn into 3% of FPS boost in each title. Besides CPU overclocking, let's also take a look at how much additional performance could be expected from memory overclocking. After we overclocked the RAM from 4800 to 6200 MHz, you could see the PC Mark score goes up to 9,146 points. The similar level of performance boost could be found within 3D Mark as well. To wrap things up, the 12th Gen processors shine not just in single and multi-core performance benchmarks, but also are able to provide promising real-world performance including daily tasking, content creation, and gaming. So if you're looking for a board that could push your 12th Gen processor to the limit, the AORUS Z690 motherboards are definitely your best choice.